Well, if you shared the stage.
I'm on the edge, literally on the edge, and you're pushing me closer.
So am I. That's
pushing me closer. Oh, hey, how you doing tonight?
You jerk.
She's abusing me. How's everyone doing? Welcome to Sunday Night Tool Talk Live, now with new high-speed internet, allegedly. We'll see how it lasts. Well, in fact, let us know how it's going. Do we have sound? That's been a problem in the past. Do you have sound?
I think I have sound. Can you guys hear me?
See, very sound-like.
I think so. Hello.
Oh,
Good evening and welcome.
Let's do this.
To the Den of Tools.
This over here, and then we'll go over here, and we'll get you your YouTube feed set up so she can see your chats too, because you know how she is like that.
Yeah, I know. I like to be able to see. Call me crazy. Okay, this earbud is totally clinking against my earrings, and
Why
I feel
are
like
you wearing an earbud?
Because I always wear an earbud. Why are we asking ridiculous questions?
She has a point.
Good evening. Happy Sunday. I hope everyone's having a good... there's like really loudness happening on mine.
Did you like the stream? I did.
Well, I'm getting there. Not all of us can be as fast as you.
If only. All right.
Anyways, we're here. It looks like people can see us. David says he can hear us. Yay, we're back.
And I got to set the live chat also.
You? Or
all
me?
of them. Both of them.
Oh, aren't you fancy?
So they call me Captain Fancy. All right, everyone. Let's say hi to everyone.
Calls you Captain Fancy. Just
Hank
so we're clear.
Group is in the house. Neil F is here. Futon 02. Barbecue 76. Robert Adams is around as well. Michael's in the house. Michael Chesia. Let's see here. Robert says that the flying half is headed home from Vegas. They're zigzagging around storms in West Texas. Michael says, I guess that means you have a useful ISP. So far, they've been pretty fast, like wicked fast compared to what Wisp was doing. It was terrible over there. Michael says, hell with Vegas, but about Lloyd's of London. Nice. Neil says, my SK was delivered incorrect. They made it right in the past, so hoping the same. Still 3 issues in a year. I don't think they like you.
That's unusual.
So I ordered 4 items, 4 of the ratchets from SK. Here's one of the 3/8 flex head. I got all 4 in. Now they did come. I got one day early. I got 3 the next day, and they all came separate boxes. It was kind of overboxed. It was one of those like Amazon kind of thing where they've put a giant box and then put a bunch of packing material.
And you open it up, and inside the thing's like this big.
Yeah, but I got it, and they all work. So,
Wahawk says, you two look familiar, but who are you again?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, we're a little baked. So we did the 50-mile garage sale over in the Bitterroot this weekend, as you may have seen from the thumbnail. And, we did a lot of driving, a lot of walking, a lot of sun. It wasn't like stupid hot.
No, but it was really sunny, and there was a lot of driving.
Yeah, it was in the 80s, a lot of time outdoors, and, a lot of good, I burned my arm from driving. Haven't done that in a while. Let's see here. Because, if you drove nonstop, it's a 4-hour drive from where we are to where we stayed, which is Lolo Hot Springs, which, by the way, I can't recommend at all.
Right. Mm-mm. Do not recommend.
It's just the hot springs are really old, and they look like they were built in the 70s and were updated. Never.
In the 70s?
Yeah.
When they were built.
And they're having problems with getting people to work, like everyone is. And we went to the restaurant there, and it would have been nice. This is all I'm going to say is if you run a business, it's impacted by COVID, and there are problems with it, with people, getting people to work there and stuff. We get it. We all get it. But tell people ahead of time before they try and order. The table behind us had waited something like 3 hours or something. It was ridiculous. Adam Bennett.
Holy guacamole. $20 from Adam. It says supposed to be 106 in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho next week. What? Yeah. No kidding. We have had some heat warnings and stuff when we were traveling. It is crazy banana pants. Thank you so much for the $20 super chat. We super appreciate it.
We got a warning when we were going through Missoula as we were leaving. Pop up on the phone said it was going to be, I freaked out, said it was going to be 108. I'm like, we're going to die. And
we had the Labrador dog with us. That was one of the other issues.
Yeah. And our truck, the air conditioning in our truck isn't great. It needs to get, there's a leak somewhere in the line, needs to get replaced. But it said it was going to be, I couldn't read it. All I saw was the flash. She reads it. She's like, yeah, this is starting in like 3 days. I'm like, oh.
Which was nice of them to let people know ahead of time so
Yes.
that you're prepared. Adam Bennett with the $10 super chat. Thank you so much. Says, P.S. Love you guys. Ring that bell. We are not ringing the bell because some of our viewers have PTSD and it's just super not great for them. So we are not ringing the bell, but I will like bobble my head or something. Thank you so much.
She's wearing her freedom ears today.
Yeah. My freedom ears. That's right.
Yes. Let's see here. Jason says, I'll be nice to have you back for the Sunday evening wind down. It is nice to be back. It really is. And we've got some big news. We got a lot of big stuff going on. We're going to be, of course, this is 4th of July week coming up. Yep. Small town kind of stuff, celebrations going on. There's a 4th of July parade. We've live streamed the parade before. There was, if you guys saw the year before, there was a huge thunderstorm with hail right in the middle of the parade, but the parade kept going. Well, this year we're in the parade.
Yep.
So we've got to come up with some sort of float kind of design or something. So I don't know if we're going to be live streaming, but we are going to be in the parade. So we got to get that set up. And then Duncan's birthday is the week after that. And we're trying to do something big because school starts early for him this year. So he's not going to be able to spend the whole summer up here.
Yeah.
And then what else is going on? There's something else going on. So we got 4th of July, that going on.
We have other birthdays.
Oh, yeah, we got some friends' birthday stuff. And then we got, well, I want to hold off on the big news. We got some really big news coming up for the channel, big changes, but we're going to hold off. It's going to be a surprise.
I think I might be surprised too.
You know exactly what the surprise is.
I'm sure when you say it, I will, but right now I'm like, I don't know what he's talking about. We're getting a dog. Oh, no, we have a dog. That's not it at all.
Wow. She's going to be dyeing her hair blonde for truth in advertising. I hope you all have a great night tonight. It won't be any gremlins. Let's get down dirty.
Yes.
Ronald says, yes, hopefully. Let me try and catch up on some of these chats real quick. Steven says, we'll give 15 minutes to see how this new internet goes. Well, so far, so good. Linda's in the house. She says, howdy. Ronald says, you're coming in loud and clear. The video looks great. No chop. Don't forget to hit the like button. Thank you, sir. Linda says, I can see and hear you, fancy pants. Nice. Dwayne says, let's talk about Portland outdoor equipment. The corded stuff, it's pretty basic. You know, I mean, the reason to go with the Portland outdoor equipment is you don't have big needs. You've got, you know, a small yard, small work to get done. You can run a cord to it, and maybe you're on a budget. That's the reason to go with Portland. It's not bad, but it's not fantastic. It's just, it is what it is. It's for small weekend warrior kind of stuff. Mohawk says, baked. Is that substance legal in Montana? Actually, yes, it is. They legalized, the medical version was legalized a few years ago. In this recent election, they legalized that as well, the just basically general use as well, which is fine and dandy as far as I'm concerned. It's not something I'm worried about or involved with. But the one thing I am happy about is they did also sign the constitutional. How do I say that correctly? No permit necessary. The Constitution's good enough, kind of thing. If you know what I'm talking about. Maters. Hey, Mater, how you doing, man? Hello, you guys. Crystal likes your ears, Jesse. Hey, Crystal. How you doing? And Frank says, I've missed not having the Sunday show. No spinning circles so far. Let's keep our fingers crossed it stays that way.
I do have to say one other thing about the 50-mile garage sale.
Do you have to?
I do. How little and big our world is at the same time.
Oh my gosh.
We literally ran into a girlfriend of mine. I had gotten a text message from her.
A close friend.
Yeah. who lives in Vegas but has family here in Montana. And she's like, hey, are you at this garage sale? Because we love to garage sale together. And I'm like, yeah. At the end of the evening or the end of the afternoon, we literally ran into each other at a garage sale. So
yeah, and it's not like it's all in one area. This is
No,
all
it's 50
it's all
minutes
individual
long.
garage sales spread down. I mean, there's 150 of
30?
them, 130.
Yeah.
They're everywhere, and some of them are some of them are not great. Honestly, I would not say there were any of them that were not great that we saw. They were not good.
Yeah.
I've been to a lot of garage sales where you walk up and you're like, really, this is what you're doing. The people who were doing this, there was significant amounts of stuff. Not everything had like tons of great vintage stuff for $5.99 or that kind of stuff. I kind of blew my budget a little early.
Well, like midday. But I would say that we each talked about before we went to the garage sales what everybody in the family was looking for.
Yep.
And everybody found it.
Found part of it, yeah.
So, I wish it was, a week long or whatever, but we had a great time. I found some great stuff that I think is awesome, and I know you did too.
Yeah, I'm real happy.
And it was also super fun to run into some friends.
Let's see here. Scott says just picked up the Tough Built S600 miter saw stand. Seems to be solid stand. I'm actually looking to get. That's the other thing we got to add to the budget. I need to get a new miter saw stand.
You see how he does that in front of you all?
Linda says it's gorgeous here. It is actually here in Livingston. It's very nice. The whole trip back was a great drive. It was beautiful, just beautiful, beautiful country. Just blessed to be able to live up here and stuff. And, but yeah, the temperature never got, for the ride back. I'm sure Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday it's gonna be terrible up there. I don't think it's supposed to get above. It's supposed to hit 94. I think is the high this week. I checked in Livingston.
Is it on Friday when the parade is?
Thursday.
Oh.
I think it'll be back down to 92 on Friday. Yeah.
Lovely.
And we'll be creeping along at 2 miles an hour in our car without air conditioning.
So we're going to use the fans that utilize the batteries in our car.
Yeah.
Just saying. That's what's happening.
Unfortunately, we don't have any of those new Ryobi clip ones, but we do have the Bauer.
Hey, I will bust out the blower.
Let's see here. Steven says, we've had 2 straight days of rain Friday and Saturday. Today started out cloudy, but the sun came out. Wayne says, how long is Ryobi Days going on for? I think it goes until like the 1st or 2nd week of August. Live your best life. Air horn. Yeah, not a chance. Robert Adams says, the best summer in Texas in decades. Rainy spring, only 200 plus 100 degree days and 80s most of the week. Every summer should be like this. Wow, how are you guys pulling that off? Because Vegas is baking.
Yeah.
We got friends and family back there, and they're telling us it's been like 115 for like over a week. It's just nuts. Scott says it's only 107 right now in Vegas, so there you go.
Well then.
Frank says, have you seen the Hart RC car? Yes, I have. Am I going to get it? Yeah, that's going to happen. I got to get that thing. Linda says, you're a tease. I know. I'm terrible like that. Tyler says, miss you guys. Hope you had a good couple weeks. We did. It was, need a little bit of downtime during the transition, of course. And then we left for this trip. We left on Thursday. Mm-hmm. We rented a cabin up at the hot springs. And, it was nice. I feel like in some ways we're being kind of picky about, like, the restaurant was absolutely terrible. She ordered and she never does this. She never orders like the big steak on the thing. Mm-hmm. And she ordered the ribeye, and the picture of it looks like it came out of like a top, on the menu, like it came out of a high-end steakhouse. It's like this thick, it's sizzling, it's beautiful. What came out was that thick, gray, and entirely coated in salt. Everything we had was entirely coated in salt. She didn't eat it. Like, she took 3 or 4 bites. This is a woman who, she never pays $30 for a steak. She never orders steak. I would force her sometimes to order steak or split a steak with her. She's very frugal. So she splurges. And when she has on the few times done that, she would eat it if it was made out of shoe leather because darn it,
Yep.
she paid for it.
Right. Mm-hmm. And I mean, we totally understand. We have worked in the restaurant business. We get it.
Yeah,
But you have to set people's expectations and say, look, we realize things are crazy today and we're super behind. Here's a free muffin, or here's a coffee, or here's
they
a
did
something.
take 20% off our
They
menu,
did.
or off our bill. That didn't even cover the price of your steak.
That's
The steak
true.
that was inedible. They served you inedible food and charged you for it.
I know. But, we're not going there again.
That's like someone breaking into your house and leaving you a bill.
Anyways, we're going to move on.
I should have said that because I'm sure that's going to become a trend now. Anyway.
No, we're not in California anymore, so we're
Yeah,
good.
that's true. Oh, let's see here where we go.
Somebody
here.
was talking about Three Forks having an amazing pie place.
Really? We were
Says,
just there.
Three Forks, there's a cafe there, and it's the best homemade pies. Forget the name of the cafe. Adam Bennett, I'm looking at a place called
It's
Three Forks Cafe.
There can only be so many.
Well, but I'm seeing, that looks like a nice pie.
You should go and get that right now.
No.
Jim Dolan says, good evening. Happy to see you all. Charlie for Dollars says, what ISP are you on? We're on Spectrum right now. When I tested it before, we were getting 32 up, and I think it was like 85 down. It was ridiculous, which is almost as fast as we were getting with Comcast back in Vegas. In fact, the up may have actually been faster. But that said, there is a bright orange line coming from the telephone pole going 50 yards through the grass
Yep.
to our house.
It's a work in progress, but it's currently working, so we're not going to complain.
They
We're gonna
told
be
me
super
that they were
grateful.
going to come back and bury the line and that they were going to put conduit around it so it could get buried. There's no conduit.
I was literally driving by today, and I'm like, are we like illegally using power?
Yeah, it literally looks like we
like a power
ran an
cord.
extension cord.
And I'm like,
To the power line.
What's going on there?
So I got to call them tomorrow. I'm like, we've been gone for, at this point, 5 days, and thought you were going to bury this line. Let's see here. Any suggestions for resawing wood? Because the cedar wood I'm using is, the 2x4 is cheaper than the 1x4, but it bogs down my table saw, and I'm afraid that I'm taking it too much. Resawing, stuff like that, a good bandsaw is always what you want to look at. I'm trying to think if there's any kind of hand tool that would, they used to do it back in the day, right? You kids saw it with a handsaw. It would suck, but you could do it. Yeah, that'd probably be the best. Got to be a bandsaw.
A number of people are asking about the garage sale. I'm seeing if I can put a link to it. I believe it happens every year. It's the Bitterroot 50-mile garage sale.
Yeah, Bitterroot is the mountain range over there, and it is absolutely gorgeous. Don't take a wrong turn; you'll end up in Idaho.
Yes.
That was me. I almost never. I've got like a built-in compass. I'm well known in the family, and actually Duncan is also.
I am
really
not. I am well known for do not listen to where I say we should go because it's terrible.
And she's like, I think we're going the wrong way. And I'm like, that's ridiculous. I know exactly where I'm going. I pulled the straight up man card right out. Like, which one of us knows directions? Which one of us is a part homing pigeon?
And so I'm sitting there going, we're going the wrong way, but I'm always wrong. So I'm just going to be quiet and be happy in the car.
And then we see a sign, welcome to Idaho.
And I'm like, I'm pretty sure we didn't come through Idaho to get here, but
Yeah.
I could be wrong.
And then I remember looking at the map before going, oh, that's right. We took an offshoot. We got in late the night. Anyway, yeah.
We made it.
Every once in a while,
It's Iron Horse Cafe.
Oh,
So thank you, Adam Bennett. I super appreciate that. And we always appreciate food suggestions and recommendations. So this one just happens to be close to home for us, so we will check it out.
Mark says, I need to replace the church on my Ryobi cordless drills. Any suggestions? I would go Pentecostal if I were you.
You're not there yet. He's trying to see himself waving.
But no, I kid. I think you meant to say Chuck. Of course, the one that everyone would come to mind would be a Jacobs Chuck, but I'm not sure which Ryobi you have. And it depends on what size it is. Is it the 3/8 Chuck? Is it the 1/2-inch Chuck? You probably would be best off going with a Ryobi replacement. But there's a lot of actually really inexpensive chucks that you can buy on Amazon that'll probably do the job just fine.
Fred Hill sent us a message, but it's not at the Den of Tools, so you might not see it. Second Bear.
Griffin.
Do you... No, he's not talking to Griffin unless Griffin drinks scotch. Do you drink scotch? We found 6 unopened 1/4 gallons of Johnny Walker Red.
Oh, wow.
I don't think that you
I don't drink scotch. I will drink most American whiskeys, Irish whiskeys. I guess that's not entirely true. I have been known to have scotch every so often. It's not my go-to, but every once in a while, I don't mind having a nice scotch. But it's not like it's not something I would ever go out and order. Or that's not true. I would never go out and buy a bottle of scotch, but there have been times where I've ordered a scotch.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, very rarely do I remember you, like 3 times maybe. But thank you so much. I mean, that's cool that you found it.
Yeah. Let's see here. Wohawk says Iowa's constitutional now also. Yes. Good for them. That's awesome. Texas went constitutional. Lifting goes into effect in September. I heard all about that one. We're happy about that. Scotty Wynn says, what did you get me at the sale? So I went looking specifically for tools, and I got an actual Crescent made in the USA, old school Crescent wrench, 2 adjustable wrenches. I got a Crescent wrench. I can't remember who the second one is. It was also a made in the USA Crescent wrench or adjustable wrench, but it wasn't Crescent. And then I got a made in Eastern Europe with parts from Turkey in the size 12, double size 12, Redhead Deluxe Premier. And a guy was selling, he bought it for his son, his adult son, and his adult son basically never cared about it, didn't use it. I don't even know if it was ever used once. I looked at it, and I don't think it was ever used. And I normally retails for $1,450. I paid $750 for it. $750. I used to have the base model, I had the Redhead Deluxe, and I loved it, but I ended up getting rid of it because I switched over to a reciprocating version. Let's call it that. I love that, but I wanted to get something that was nicer, and this is very nice. So I'm really happy with it. So I've replaced that. So anyway, that was most of my budget. So I took it easy on the rest of the trip.
Yep.
I
found homeschool stuff and a few pieces of jewelry.
The Mater's Workshop says, thank you for sharing my video on the end locker. I've gotten over 2,000 views. Awesome. Happy to do it, man. You deserve it. So if you guys don't know, I put a link in the community section. Mater got his paws on one of the replacement end lockers for the US Gen. A lot of people were worried they were going away or that they were switching to like a Gen 3 or something. It wasn't the case. They were just looking for a new manufacturer for the end locker. And if you want to see, it looks pretty much just like the old one, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe you can chime in on that, but I thought it was a single drawer, 2 shelves. Anyway, but go take a look at it. The link is in my community section, or you can go to Mater's channel there. David says, mid-90s and humid here in Vermont. Ooh, humid.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry.
Steven says, when it comes to garage sales, I can usually judge if prices are going to be lower or higher by looking at the neighborhood and whoever is running the sale. There were many times where we were driving by and Justin's like, what about that one? And I'm like, nope, don't like the neighborhood.
Yeah. This one, it was all over the place. Like there were I think they were called like hot spots. I think there were 6 of them.
Yeah, there were several really big.
Altogether
kind of
like
stuff.
10 or 15 families or something were in one location.
Or community.
Right. So that was really cool. And there were also like a number of like bake sales. The other thing that's cool is with this, all the money that's raised goes to charity. It's not necessarily all the same charity.
Yeah.
But it was really cool. There were so it was really neat.
we went to one bake sale. I think it was Mennonites who were running it.
It was either Mennonites or Hutterites, and I'm really feel bad that I don't really know
Well,
the
I didn't
difference.
feel like I needed to ask, but anyway.
Right. They was
Boy, they made
delicious.
some tasty
They made
food.
like whoopie pies and
Cookies and breads and muffins and all sorts of stuff.
oh my, yes, it was delicious.
And it was cheap.
Yes.
Let's see here. Jason says, any experience with the Husky 12-volt ratchet? I won't be using it a ton. Looking for a good bang for the buck cordless ratchet. Reviews look really good. I have not used it myself. I can tell you that I've heard back from several people on the channel who have it and said that it works great for them. I did talk to one person who said they got it. It died after like a month of use, but there was warranty on it. They got it replaced, and they're all good now. Steven says, I want the Hart RC car as well. Don't tell them daughter raw. Michael says, like Armed Forces Radio used to give the weather reports for Baghdad, hot and sunny for 6 months.
Yep.
Craig Monster says, Bears preferred cheap garage beer. I'm not a beer drinker. I was telling this to somebody the other day. There are times when a beer is just awesome. A hot day, you've been working outside, and you sit down and just like, a Budweiser or a Busch or, something like that just really hits the spot. That's a great time for a beer. And I'm not usually into fancy beers, but sometimes like I can drink a black and tan if I want to sit down in a pub or something. I don't like most of the new hippy dippy ales and crap. Sorry, but everyone's the microbreweries. We've come with this new like super triple bitters, blah blah blah. I'm like, I don't want to drink that. That sounds terrible. I don't need it to be extra bitter or something like that. I want it to be refreshing. I want it to taste good. I'm just not into that. I'm a bourbon drinker. That's my tip. I'll have a bourbon. I'll have a Diet Coke on with ice as a back, and I'm happy all day long.
Christian Allen, thank you for the $2 super chat. Best 100-foot hose for the Harbor Freight 4400 pressure washer.
Boy, that's a good question there, Christian. And you know what? I'm going to ask the community here to reach out and see if they can chime in with an answer to that, because that's a question I've been asking myself, and I was planning to take a look at it this summer and figure it out, because I've run into I've not been able to find my happy place where it's an inexpensive hose that's actually a good quality, because everything I've seen with hoses has either been it's cheap and it kinks easy and it degrades a lot, or it's super robust. It doesn't curl well. It's completely unmanageable, but it lasts forever. Those are the two types of garden hoses I've seen. And if somebody's got a suggestion that's a happy median in there, I would love to hear it.
Adam Bennett with a $10 super chat. Is it? I always wonder about that. Is it Bullet Bourbon? Yes. Orange label? You must try. Have you tried
Orange
that?
label?
I don't.
Is that the rye? I don't know if I know that one.
Thank you so much for the super chat. I was looking at something else and was distracted. But we will have to check it out.
Fred says, Bear, two things. I sold my 6.5
I'm looking it up.
broomstick. I have probably 200 to 300 rounds. Are you interested here in Colorado? Yeah. Dude, email me so that's what we got my son, and it's impossible to get. He wants to go to the range, and it's not happening. So yeah, email me, red@denatools.com. We'll talk. Liberty says, how many years do power tool batteries realistically last? It's all about how you use them, how you recharge them, how you store them. They have so many repeatable cycles in them. It can be up to 100 depending on the battery. Some even more depending on the quality of the battery and the quality of the charger. The charger, if it's done when the battery's not super hot or super, super cold, and it's not like high speed charge. Rapid chargers reduce the length of the battery. Yes, they charge it faster, but they're jamming the juice in there, and it stresses the battery, makes them hotter, and makes them not last as long. So it's really variable. And then when you're running them out, how low do you run them? Like, do you really squeeze every last ounce of juice out of it? That's going to reduce the length. Are you running them hot? That's going to reduce the length. But it's a life cycle. They have so many available recharges is the way it looks at. And then the harder you run it or store it or use it, then that's going to reduce that level.
So it
Can I have
looks...
a drink?
No.
I was like, where is she hiding it?
It's mine.
And
it's all
almost
mine.
empty.
So it looks like Bullet Straight Bourbon Frontier Whiskey. Doesn't look like it's the rye one, but it could be
What's
not.
that? What's Frontier Whiskey? What's their version of it?
It says, enjoy bullet bourbon like the Americans do. Aren't we in America?
I think I am.
Previously, it's been bottled at 40%, blah, 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 for the UK market.
Ugh.
It's interesting, though, because they said it's a gold medal. It won a gold medal at the San Francisco World Spirits Competition.
Yeah.
Didn't you go to that one? Because it was
I was a guest
2012.
there.
Yeah. A good spicy kick of rye first up. Then softer notes of dried fruit and sweet spice. Yep, you know your situation.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know, I was actually a guest. They contacted me and they had some extra space. And if you don't know, I'm the author of the best-selling book on how to make moonshine in the world. And so every once in a while, not as much these days, but I used to get contacted by a lot of different people about that and asked to do different things. I've done consulting for people, starting up new distilleries, did book signings at that event. It was lots of fun.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was super cool. Andrew, I am going to say your last name and you're going to tell me if I say it incorrectly because I hate that when people say names wrong. Is it Andrew Fife? For $5 super chat, it says, what do you think about the KTC Nepos and Koken? I just ordered the 3/8 and the 1/4 Nepos long handled ratchets. Is it Koken? Am I saying that right?
I don't know. It's
Extensions
Japanese, so who
and
knows?
socket sets. What do you think about that? I read that.
I've never used them. I've seen some really nice versions of them. They have some really high end stuff. I've heard they're fantastic. You'll have to tell me what you think of them. I keep saying that one of these days I'm going to break down and buy a set just to have it, just to play around with it. Of course, they've got the one with the wood inlays and stuff. If that is the one I'm thinking about, isn't that the Nepros? Or am I completely off my rocker here? These are the Japanese hand tools, right? Anyway, I have not used them, so let me know. I'd love to hear about it.
He said thank you, and he also said that I pronounced the name correctly. Thank you. Again, it's super just my own personal pet peeve when people say people's names wrong and nobody corrects them.
The Scott says, why does the price of the Hercules 12-inch miter saw keep changing? Harbor Freight keeps changing it so often, it's hard to hit that sweet spot. They've always done that with their pricing. I don't know if they think that they're either they're using a computer algorithm to manage the price, or there's somebody there who thinks he is a computer algorithm and he can keep adjusting that price. I don't know why they do it, but they do. Steven says 20 minutes in, the internet has been good so far. Oh,
let's not jinx it.
Knock on wood.
Yep.
Jim says, I guess a lot of people have heard that SK may have been sold, and as an SK guy, tool guy, since the dresser industry days, this may be it for the mostly U.S. tool company, but time will tell. There is a rumor going around that SK may be or has already been sold to Great Star Tools. Now, Great Star, they're one of the largest hand tool companies in China. They own several American companies that are fairly well known in their industries. They like to buy up American companies and use their brand name for leverage for selling overseas. So that's one of the things about this whole SK thing that may or may not make sense. It is something that Great Star does, and it's kind of funny because I and Brad over at Brad's Workbench have been kind of going back and forth. Was it Brad or was it Brad? It was, I think, or was it Audubon Dan? I can't remember who I was kind of in the conversation with. Have been trying to figure out what's going on with Great Star, what companies they actually control, they own. I know that WorkPro used to be a division of Great Star, and I think they spun off on their own now. Anyway, at this point, it's just a rumor. It's unconfirmed. The source behind the rumor is an old school retailer who's got ties in the industry. It is unlikely that that sale has already happened, and because being a large foreign entity and stuff like that, I would imagine that they would have to file some sort of government paperwork for that kind of acquisition, and that has not happened as of yet. So I don't think it's already happened, or I mean, at this point, like I guess it was a week or two. I think about 2 weeks ago that I first heard the rumor. So it's it may have happened since then. If it does happen, of course, stay tuned. We will be right there to talk about it, because I won't be happy about it. I won't be completely upset. Close, but not completely. So they like to, as their CEO said, make the tools. Actually, I think I'm quoting a different CEO, but they do have a history of making the tools as much as possible in the country where they own the where the brand is from. They're the ones who just bought ShopVac, and they've dedicated to reopening that plant in Pennsylvania and hiring Americans there again and making U.S. made products. So it would suck if it wasn't U.S. owned, but if it's still USA made, still employing Americans, it could be worse. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. Sorry. Two things. Just want to remind folks, I think most people here know that we are a family-friendly channel.
Yeah.
We're not talking politics. We don't personally, everybody has their right to their freedoms. We don't need to talk about adult subjects. So thank you. Other than tools. And Neil F., thank you for the $5 super chat. Mac Tools has great deal on swivel impact sockets this month.
Really? I'll have to take a look at that.
Now.
And thanks for the super chat.
Yes, thank you so much.
The Stacy says, "What's up with Win? Looking for the 10-inch drill press and none here around on the West Coast." Same thing with everyone. Everyone is having issues with stock. Your best bet for something like that is ordering off of Amazon. Fred says, "I sold my 6.5. I have 200 to 300 round left. Do you want them?" Yeah, as I said, please.
Just a reminder, if you do at the Den of Tools, it shows up as a highlighted orange thing like you can see above our heads, and we will get to it. We do get behind, mainly when I'm allowed to speak occasionally. That somehow it magically makes us behind.
Did you want to say something?
Nope, I'm talking. Just letting you guys know so that we do see it. And yes, we do get behind. We will get to it. We do read every single one. Occasionally something wonky happens and we're like, hey, something skipped and we missed it. So thank you for being patient. And remember, at the Den of Tools. And if you get confused, look above our heads. Thank you.
Kevin asks, "I'm debating on getting the rigid brushless recip or the Skill 20-volt recip. Which one would you go with? I have about the same amount of batteries for both tool brands." Well, here's the difference. The Skill is a lower-end, prosumer-ish brand. I like Skill. I have Skill stuff where I was just looking around. I usually have some around me. I don't today.
I put them away.
She put them away. And I think it's great. Rigid is definitely the higher end of the complete opposite end of the prosumer line. And so it really comes down to cost and what you're going to do with it. If you're really going to use it hard and put a beading on it, I'd get the rigid. If you just need it for average DIY use and you can get it cheaper, I would get the Skill. They're both great saws. I think that's about as simple as you can make it. Fry Guy says, "I didn't know that a lot of those table saws have a plastic tabletop, even the Bosch 4100 XC. Are they plastic? I thought they were aluminum with an epoxy finish on them." I guess you're talking about the job site table saws. Mater says, "Yes, it does have the 2 adjustable shelves and a single drawer at the bottom." He's talking about the Harbor Freight end locker there that apparently is now starting to show back up. JJ Vallis, "Sea bass is not a real fish. Blew my mind." That's not true. There really is a sea bass. It's just seldom actually caught because it was overfished. And so now any kind of fish that's kind of like sea bass, they just call it sea bass and throw it in the, and because once they chop it up, you look at it, you're like, is it sea bass? I don't know. It says sea bass. And Seabass got a real like Orange Ruffy got this like back in the 80s or something, became this really yuppie kind of food that, everyone, we had Orange Ruffy for dinner last night. Oh, with nice Chianti or something. I don't know. It was very, very yuppie-esque.
When was this?
I believe it was the 80s.
Oh.
Yeah. Meters work. Oh, we just read that one here. Ricky says, glad to see you guys back. Question, is the IQ 10-inch tile saw the best tile saw on the market? Ricky, I don't know. I am not a tile saw aficionado. I'm not a pro. That's the thing is, I'm very open. I will tell you guys, hey, if I know this, I know it. If I don't know it, I'm going to tell you I don't know it. Or if I heard it from somebody else, I'm going to tell you what my source is. And in this case, I am not an expert when it comes to tile saws. I've used tile saws. I enjoy using tile saws. They're a lot of fun, actually. But I don't know. I would check out, I think it's called Lambert Tile. He's got a channel. Guy, that's all he does, man. Morning, noon, night is he lays tile. And he tests all the tile saws out there. I would go over to his channel and check it out. Or if somebody else wants to chime in, if you type in at Ricky Perkins, you can send a message directly to him. It'll pop up orange just like ours, and he'll be able to see it.
Karate Jiu-Jitsu Kid, I know you didn't do at the Den of Tools, so I'm going to read the message before it gets lost. It says, hey guys, you have saved me so much money. I am so happy to hear that. And I think that's your phone. So yeah, I am so happy to hear that. We love sharing deals and helping folks find a cost-effective way to do whatever you need to do.
Yeah.
Or if you want to have like the amazing whatever and spend $1 gajillion because you have it, we support that too.
Trolling for Dollars says, I would have a yard sale, but who wants to buy some weed-infested dirt? Around here?
I don't know.
They'd pay a lot of money for it. A lot of money.
Yeah.
Oh, let's see here. Where'd we go? Where'd we go wrong?
You see, we were on our way. And then we made a left instead of a right.
The Fred says, Bear, I heard there has been bear activity in Montana and Yellowstone. I haven't heard of anyone killed. Not yet, but there's been some idiots out there getting a little too close. I know that. I
don't understand it. Like, I love animals, but don't get in their face, especially when they're a bear and they can rip your face off.
Yeah.
Or an elk or anything.
The Frank Landgraf says, has Mrs. DeBear looked at the Hart cordless vacuum? Yeah, she has. In fact, we've been talking about getting those for the house up here because the wall storage is nice, it's convenient, and it's space saving. And we're a small house here, so anything space saving is a good deal as far as we're concerned.
Like this small.
Let's see here. Where'd I go there? Jeff Toohey. Jeff Toohey's in the house. Howdy, neighbors. Stay cool this week.
Yes.
You too, man. What's it going to be up there? You guys are up a little bit higher up on that big plateau. For anyone that doesn't know, Jeff Toohey's a neighbor over the pass. It's a ways, but it's not that far. In Montana,
it's right next door.
In Montana terms, it's practically spitting distance.
Yeah.
But anyway, let us know how that's going, man. Joseph says, recommended small cordless vac for the workshop. Small cordless vac. Are you talking like dust vac, like dirt devil dust vac kind of thing? Or are you talking like a cordless shop vac? I got to do a video on that Hart. I got to tell you that if you got the Hart tools, you got to check around your local Walmarts because I've just paid $20 for the tool only shop vac. But I got to tell you, the Hercules, the DeWalt. I think there were a couple others. I love the ones that are dual power where you can plug them in as well as use cordless because that adds so much flexibility to the use on it. You're not always looking for a battery if you don't need it. So if you have a small shop where there's always a plug, you can use that. But then if you want to take it out to the car or go on a road trip or something like that, you can take it with you for that. Bart says, I was really impressed with Makita 40 volt 3/4 impact test on high torque test channel. I guess I see why they made a new line now out of my price range for now. Yeah, that thing is a beast, isn't it? That is it's a huge honking tool though. My gosh. And Ricky says, can you justify the massive price tag of the 10-inch IQ? So I can't. I've never used it, so it'd be hard for me to justify it. Philly Fixed in the house. My Bosch
Hey.
4000 is milled aluminum. Yeah, there we go. Again, talking about the table saws there. Emmer says the Metabo HPT is aluminum. I know the DeWalt that I tested is aluminum. The Skill I've looked at is aluminum. The Hercules is aluminum. I'm trying to think what else. The Metabo HPT that I saw is aluminum. Cobalt was aluminum. All the ones I've seen are aluminum. Even the old little mini jet what I had was aluminum. David Corrales says, with your video about Stanley Black & Decker's CEO announcement with the outdoor power equipment, when do you think parts for older Cub Cadet gas riding lawnmowers will be discontinued? I think it's still going to be a long time. Currently, 75% of the market is still gas. Cub Cadet sells mostly gas. It's going to take some time to transition. Excuse me. I almost sneezed my head off there. But it's... I think you'll be able to get parts for a good long time. I think like if you bought a mower today, I think you'll still be okay because it's going to be decades before they get enough juice in smaller capacities to be able to handle like the people who have to mow 5 acres or 20 acres or stuff like that. So you're still going to see those parts around. Does Milwaukee have a shot at taking over Klein's market? Andrew says, I don't think so. Their tools, here's the issue with the people I find who buy Milwaukee. There's 3 types of people who buy Milwaukee. People who buy Milwaukee because they're Milwaukee fanboys and they will buy anything that's red and says Milwaukee on it. 2, there's people who just go, I don't really know anything about the tool, and they see it and it says Milwaukee, so they're going to buy it. And the third person is, it's just convenient. They're at the store and they just need to grab something and that's what's there. I don't see any pros who aren't fanboys going, I want to get Milwaukee tools. You know, I talk to a lot of guys in the industry and the linemen and people who I know a lot of guys who do low power kind of installs. In fact, I had a big long chat with the guy who installed our Spectrum and stuff. He had Klein's. The Milwaukee, it's not better. It's not that much cheaper, if at all, than Klein's. And it's not made in the USA. I don't see a compelling reason to go with Milwaukee for any of their hand tools. The Fred says, and if you want to, that's fine. I'm just saying I don't see a compelling reason like it. You know, with Klein, I know I'm getting a good quality tool, and I have some Klein, good quality tool, and I know it's made in the USA, and I do like supporting made in the USA products when I can, when it makes sense. Klein is one of those things that I like. Channel Lock, it's one of the companies that I like. Crescent, they don't do as much as they used to, but they still do some. I like supporting them. And, you know, there's a few others, but, you know, and other than that, then I'll look at like Taiwanese or German manufacturers. I like Knipex. I've not made any kind of, you know, secret about the, you know, my love of Knipex there. So, you know, that may be another option also, but I don't see Milwaukee. Milwaukee's going to have its corner of the market that they're going to get because they have such a big brand recognition from power tools, but I don't think it's going to be any more than that. Fred says, I'm so glad the clown they picked to head the ATF. I'll leave it there. I don't even get me started about that.
We're not going to go there, but we all know.
Oh my gosh.
Yep. And if you don't know what we're talking about, just
look up Waco.
Look up.
Yeah.
Hey, Sonic.
Yeah. Sorry. I'm trying to be good here. Ronald Smith says, if you want to find you skill saws and skill tools, check the pellet barbecue grill. She probably put them in there because he got the old shed. Yeah, well, yeah, no. Actually, it's currently full of barbecue equipment because I just bought a bunch more. Fried Guy says, yes, a plastic tabletop. I went to Lowe's to look at them. I was surprised. Now, what type of plastic? I don't know. That's weird. Jeff Rotundo says, thoughts on the Harbor Freight Pittsburgh ratcheting clamps. I need quite a few, but on a limited budget. You're talking about the black ones with the gray, just the cheapy ones. They're not fantastic. I've broken A lot of them. Now you could say it's because I have giant bare paws and I grip them too hard.
Totally true.
But a lot of other people have said that they've had problems. I've stopped buying them. Now they came out with a new one, the Bremens, and those are fantastic. But you know what? The Work Pro ones work pretty good too. The Irwin ones work pretty good. There's a lot of other less expensive options. You know, I'm a Harbor Freight fan, but I don't recommend those. Some people have had them, have never had a problem. Maybe I'm just too much of a beast. Art says, I'm lost. I have the old NiCad Milwaukee tools pre-M18. My bats have all died now. Should I get new tools and batteries or replace my current bats? Seems cheaper to get all new tools. Ugh. Art, here's what I'm going to say. You'll be better off getting new tools, because if you buy new batteries, you're just going to be buying knockoff batteries. You're not going to be able to get name brand. You're going to be knockoff replacements into an old and dying line anyway. Get the new tools. Here's the good news. People still want those tools. So you can still sell those tools. List them on eBay or Marketplace or something. You'd be surprised how much people will pay for those tools. Sin. Hey, Sin. I live for the way Jessie raises her eyebrows at DeBear's human avatar. The snark makes me giggle. Good to see the both of you live again. Thank you so much. It's good to see you. I haven't seen you in a while. The Donna Rod, don't hold back. You do you. James, I wouldn't push her. The Fred says, sorry, the ATF, they didn't select. Sorry, the ATF, they didn't select them. Live your best life. I love that name. How hard or expensive is it to eliminate lead paint or asbestos from a house? Like, how much should I budget for? Depends on the size of the house.
I think Crystal responded, but yes.
Depends on the size of the house and how much you value your health. Do not mess around with that stuff. I removed asbestos siding. Now, that was the compressed asbestos. We did some of that a long time ago, and so far, I'm okay, but we didn't do squat. All right. I don't even know if we wore face masks. I don't remember any of that. At best, you know what? I think we did. I think we wore like those cheap little, the
like papery respirator.
Yeah, but like the formed fit ones that are uncomfortable as all heck. Mm-hmm. I think we use those. But with the formed ones, there's not as much. When you break them to get them off, because a lot of them break, yeah, there is some, but it's not as bad as like pulling out, Anyway, make a budget and then triple it. That's probably how much it's going to cost.
Yeah.
Drew says, I saw the new Bauer 18 gauge brad nailer. Can't wait to pick one up. Waiting on that glue gun. You and me both. I want to go get that nail gun and I want to find the glue gun. I was thinking, what do you think about a glue gun for? So we're going to decorate the truck.
I know where you're going. When you just said glue gun, I'm like, he is for real lost his mind.
So we got to decorate the truck and we got like streamers and stuff to put on the truck. And I was thinking hot glue gun. I don't care about the paint on that truck.
No.
Anyway. Art says, love the random household tools from Hart. Me too. I still owe you all the video with the rinser.
Yep.
Love that thing.
Yep.
Kevin says,
used it this weekend.
Yes, for some reason we forgot it on this trip. It was idiotic. We so could have used it. Kids were playing in the creek. Dog was running around. Great time. We had, oh my gosh, we did a bonfire, did s'mores. Kids were so sticky after that.
They were sticky and happy, and they smelled like camp.
Yep. It would have been nice to rinse them off before letting them back in the cabin.
Yeah.
Where would you rank Bosch brushless tools compared to Milwaukee, Makita, DeWalt? Would it be closer to prosumer rigid tools, or Bosch is clearly professional grade tools? Do they have as much torque or something? I look at Milwaukee quite often as like souped up, overpowered tools sometimes. Bosch is like, that's nice, young guy. I'm just going to get the job done, and I'm going to keep doing it for the next 50 years. Thank you very much. It just keeps going, especially their brushed stuff, because it's made to be rebuilt. They've got the ports in the sides. You can get to the brushes. And that's the world I come from, which is you run a brush tool, it gets dirty, you bang it a few times, it keeps going, you open it up, you clean it out, you put new brushes in, you snap it back together, and you're back doing business. That's the brushless stuff. There are benefits for it. It makes it harder to service, but you can order all the parts. Bosch has a great service department. I'm not saying Milwaukee doesn't have good service, but Bosch is clearly I mean, Bosch doesn't even really care about you buying them. They are so professional. They're focused entirely on, or almost entirely on, large corporate accounts, people who buy them by the pallet. Okay, that's what kind of quality you're getting with Bosch. And the same goes for Makita. Same goes for Hilti. These are all tools that they don't really care about the retail market. That's why you almost never see a Hilti ad or a Makita ad or a Bosch ad. Bosch has gotten, in the last couple of years, they've gotten more focused on the retail market, but not a whole lot. Raging Cajun says, welcome back. Thank you. Good to be back here.
Raging Cajun also says, no hot glue.
No hot glue.
And then Art says, silicone for the truck.
Oh, that's an interesting idea.
Because it could peel off.
Yeah. Ed sees it just started to get used to the setup in Vegas. Now I got to get used to you switching seats all over again. I know. What is going on? I guess we do switch seats in Vegas, don't we? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
Greg says, I liked the 3D printer review. It's a good thing because, oh my gosh, everybody and their brother is apparently sending me 3D printers now.
Yep.
Weird. So you're going to be seeing more of them. We'll space it out. Don't worry. We won't turn into the 3D printer channel, but I'm going to be doing a lot more stuff with 3D printers. Oh, you know what? I didn't get the picture. We found the dragon. This is the dragon from the thing. And this sits on top of this, the Olight bulb. And this is cheesy. I made it for my daughter. And because she loves this little light thing.
I don't think it's cheesy. You totally made that for me.
As opposed to making tools that are actually useful stuff.
That's
useful.
You got it, it keeps your
look at that
9-eye light looking cool. Yep.
Anyway.
So, yeah. And what about the other thing?
They already saw all that.
Oh, okay.
Well, they didn't see Griffin's shark.
But he's not done.
Yeah, we got to clean it up. So he wanted a great white shark, so we did the great white shark.
Griffin's really into sharks.
It printed like this, straight up. So we still have to clean up the face. It's a
minor details.
It's a little weird. Anyway, so let's see here. Roland says, good 10-inch 24-tooth table saw blade. The 3 blades I recommend that I find to be pretty much interchangeable are Diablo, Irwin Marples, and the Hercules at Harbor Freight. People don't like to believe me, but I've used all of them, and I think they all work about the same. I just buy whichever one's on sale that week. And Emir says, have you used the Metabo HPT 10-inch sliding miter saw? Looking to get a bigger one, and I'm wired and would prefer to match. Weird, I guess is what he's saying. I prefer to match. I've not used the 10-inch saw. I have used the 12-inch, but I can't now. That in the 10-inch, boy, talk about weird. That 10-inch is weird if it's the one I remember, because it's like there's a bar here and like a bar over here kind of thing, and but I've heard nothing but great things about the Metabo saws, and the 12-inch is a fantastic saw. Neil says, thoughts on the convertible Milwaukee stick vac for $200. Bear Tools. It's pricey, but I got batteries around looking for my father. It's definitely that kind of thing of, it's not a bad tool, but if you've got, if you're already in that, I would not buy into the Milwaukee line for that stick vac. But if you're in the Milwaukee line, make the batteries work for you. Try and find it on sale. Neil says, price-wise, I could go buy a Dyson or other. There is that, or you could buy the Ryobi or but $200, I'd probably get the Milwaukee. I would, because then you're already in the battery line. You're already set. Paul St. Marie says, greetings. How you doing, Paul? Sonic says, Klein's still a family-run company, if I'm not mistaken. I believe it is. Tool Mondo says, hey Jeff, if you had to choose, which one would you choose, a miter saw or a table saw? Also, is this a good deal? Metabo 12 by 15 amp dual bevel saw, $269 at Lowe's. Dual bevel miter saw. Is it just the standard chop saw? It's not the sliding miter saw. Sounds like it's a like the average sale price. Like it's not a screaming deal, but it's a good price to get it at. If I had to choose, especially if you're in a small shop, I always say this: get a good miter saw, and then get a good hand saw, circ saw with a straight edge. In fact, and if you can, get a track saw, because between those two, there's almost nothing you can't do that you can do with a table saw, and you don't have the big space of the table saw or the danger of using a table. Table saws are dangerous tools, man. They're one of the most dangerous tools in the shop. And then the other thing is, like, you're like, well, what about running the name just skipped me. What do you call it? When you're running multiple blades in your table saw, the dado stack. Then take that same straight edge or that same track saw and put a router on it. Safer, easier to use. Hardcore. I know hardcore cabinet makers who use that setup every single day. I mean, look at the whatchamacallit, Festool. Look at the table saw they sell. I don't believe they sell one. That's why I was saying that.
Deputy Dog says, Den of Tools, you missed your calling. Just read children's... It says auto books, but I think they mean audiobooks.
Audiobooks.
But maybe they meant auto books.
I've had people say that I should do voiceover work and stuff before. That's
I think you'd
always
be good
struck
at
me
that.
as weird because I've actually never liked my own voice.
Yes.
What did you do to my soda?
Nothing.
I'm going to die without caffeine.
Top of the hour.
Top of the hour to you. That means it's time for...
The dogs to knock everything over.
Come here, dog. Come here, say hi. You want to say hi? Say hi. Oh my gosh. Oh, mom's going somewhere. Gotta follow mom. Anyway, top of the hour, which means it's time for you. Yes, you. To adopt your very own mod. We like to support the entire tool community. In fact, the YouTube community, creator community as a whole. We've been very blessed with the success that we've had on YouTube. And we like to share that, or try to share that success with others. So we have a bunch of mods. That's everyone with the cobalt blue wrench behind their name. Such as Owen's Jeep Stuff. Hey, Owen, how you doing? Daughter of Raw, Paul St. Marie, Fred Hill, Mater's Workshop, and others. We do is we ask for you to go over to their channel and watch one of their videos and give it a thumbs up and leave a comment and help share the love around YouTube. Who knows? Maybe you'll find some great stuff that a great new channel that you can binge watch and find lots of great stuff on. Also, want to say a huge huge thank you to everyone who supports the channel with the super chats. You all are fantastic. Excuse me. Sorry we don't do the bell anymore. But we did it because we had too many viewers who were like, it's triggering and stuff like that. So we understand. And then also huge thank you to all of our members who support us every month. That's like Fred Hill and Paul St. Marie, and Owen's Cheap Stuff, and Stephen Deswan. That's everyone you see with the bear behind their name. It's kind of like Patreon, but it's YouTube's version of it. So you don't have to go to a different website and give them your information and stuff. If you're interested about it, there is a link in the video description. You can find out more there. I think that's it. Did I miss anybody? And thanks for sticking with us and being patient while we did the transition from Vegas up here to Montana. Man, it feels good to be home. I cannot tell you. All right, let's get back into this. Let's see here. Jason says, any word on when shop vac plant will start running again? I live about 60 miles away, but I haven't heard anything. Maybe it is running. I believe they have started up. I know they've already done the first wave of hiring. I don't know if they're at I don't think they're at full production capacity, but they're working up to it at this point. The Andrew says, do you do research into work clothes? I feel like they're the ugly duckling of the tool industry that no one talks about. I mean, after all, they are tools to protect us on the job site. I have done videos about, we did one, I think, on the history of Carhartt, and no one was really interested. So I have not done much since then. If you all think we should do, by the way, if you ever have any ideas, any video ideas, please feel free to email me at red@denatools.com. I'm going to warn you, if you're emailing me to say, hey, I got a question about blah, 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 it's, I don't know if I'm going to be able a chance to get to answer you because I get thousands of emails, guys. And I try to respond to everything. I'd rather respond to comments and questions on the videos and stuff. And I do still try to read as many as I can. If you're subscribed, that's pro tip. If you're subscribed, I read all your comments, or at least I try to read all your comments, and I try to respond to the ones that need it. Art says, thanks for the input. Hurts to lose serial number 0824. Yeah, I bet. That is, jeez. Traveler X says, what do you expect this admin? Chip is the best man for the job. Oh, for this administration. Yeah. Raging Cajun says, no hot glue. Yes. Ricky Perkins says, I'm 100% rigid fanboy. I have serious problem with the power levels, except for the models of impact drivers. The new rigid only got 4-hour batteries. What do you think of flex tools? Flex tools are fantastic, and I think the recip saw it's probably my favorite. Now, I lean towards recip saws because when I started getting into construction and stuff. So when I did construction, for those of you who don't know, when I was in construction, I worked with a team that rehabbed 100-plus-year-old houses. So that's you can ask her. I get kind of nutty about old houses. I love architecture.
Let's just stop it. He's a little nutty. Just stop right there.
Says the woman with pinwheels on her head. hey,
I have character.
Who married it? And I am a character.
That's right.
Anyway, it's hard to recommend to somebody like, hey, you should go out and buy flex tools because they don't have an entire entire tool line out there. Hold on, I need to take a sip.
Hey, Inslam. I'm here. I was just taking care of the dog.
Anyway, it's hard to recommend them because they don't have an entire tool line. Who knows when that's all going to actually get rolled out? They don't have quite the support network that you see from DeWalt or Milwaukee, and but they have been making professional power tools for years and years. They own Skillsaw. Skillsaw is a well-known, well-respected professional power tool. They have a line of support for that. They're just expanding that line to then cover the skill line. I will say this. I love the recip saw. The impact driver is a beast. It just is. The circ saw is decent. The grinder is really good. I want to get my hands on some of the other stuff, but it's not, for me, being retired, just doing my own thing these days, I wouldn't buy it myself, other than the fact like, I may want to spoil myself or something, but it's expensive. But you do get that founder's kind of lifetime warranty thing for the people who buy it and register it this year. You got to buy it, register it within 30 days. But they're great tools with great tech. Let's see, what was the next one there? I lost my space.
Hey, Mark. He says, please say hello to my wife, Annette. She endures my tool obsession as preparing my dinner tonight. Mark, I hope that you thank her for preparing your dinner, and I am curious now what you're eating. And where is mine? Thank you.
And?
Hey, Annette.
Hi, Annette. How you doing?
Thank you for, enduring his tool obsession. Hopefully you get some giggles and watch with him.
I'm just going to say that talk about a supportive wife. So we're at this 50-mile garage sale. And we're at a row of sales at this point. She's down there talking to some women who had like quilts and stuff. And they're doing girl talk. And I walk up behind her and say, I need some cash. And she's like, how much do you need? I'm like, $750. And she stops. She looks at me. She smiles. She looks at the women. She goes, you see, this is what, now he's going to tell me he's buying something really big, aren't you? And I'm like, well, I don't need it for walking around money. And she's like, sure, here, because she carries the cash. That's her thing. She's the CFO in the family. And I like it that way because I don't have to worry about it. And, but then not like, what are you buying and how are you going to justify it or anything? She knows if I'm spending the money, I'm doing it on something that, means something. Let's see here. Steven says, I wonder how the Hart cordless home vacuum is. You're going to find out because I think we're getting it. They're not sending it to us that I know of. but we're going to buy one at the very least. Ronald says, I'm still waiting on the battery-operated coffee maker. Need it badly. Makita's got one. You can do that. Paul Seamery says, you can get batteries rebuilt at Interstate Batteries for a reasonable price. I've had very good luck with them, and my 14.4 volt made in Germany Milwaukee drill is still going strong. That's a good point. Interstate will do it. Batteries Plus will sometimes do it depending on the store. There's other places that will rebuild batteries.
Hang on, Rail 9222222. I have watched your videos. He is doing some amazing stuff at his property. He's 2 miles from the Idaho border in the Bitterroot. So we were just in your neighborhood. By the way, beautiful. If you have not gone and visited the Bitterroot area, it is amazeballs. It's beautiful.
I'll be honest. If suddenly like all our friends like up and moved out of here, I would probably be lobbying hard to, not that she's going to sell this house because it's a family thing, but to buy property there. I just wish it wasn't 4 hours away. If it was like 2 hours away, we would probably be buying property there. Mm-hmm. It is my favorite place. I love Livingston. It gets a little Hollywood around here because of Paradise Valley and all the Hollywood folks who have to be close to Yellowstone and all that. And Bo's Hollywood across the... Jeff, I'm talking to you. It's your fault. You're supposed to be taking care of Bozeman. And I absolutely, the people we met down there, everyone we talked to, just the landscape. If you've ever been to the Black Hills, just think of the Black Hills with bigger mountains. That's what. And
I don't get that. Like a lot of times when he says stuff, I'm like, oh yeah, I don't feel that. I just feel like it's beautiful, but I do think that there were some parts, like where we stayed, which reminded me
which
of
is actually
Keystone.
Up in the Black. You don't know geography. Why were you even talking about this?
I know my memories. Yep.
But do you? Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh.
Let's see here. Whoa. Silent Dawn says Meowdy from Alaska now. Ooh, Alaska. What's it like up there these days? That's nice. Joseph says, I've watched videos of the old DeWalt 14.4 batteries being jump charged after they no longer take a charge. There is a thing where you can do to jump charge batteries. Be
super
careful. Have the right kind of fire extinguisher on hand.
Have a wife with 911. I'm just saying. Or a neighbor.
It's not something I recommend. That is, professional driver on closed course kind of thing.
Oh my goodness. Hey, Shaka.
Shaka's back.
$2 super chat. Says, good evening. Ryobi, Hart, and Harbor Freight are all trash. Wow. You have a lot to say today.
Adding to the list, are we?
Yes. I do like the little trash can emoji. I know that you used it before. So thank you so much for the $2 super chat and for your thoughts and opinions.
Nate says, thanks for all you do. I've improved tremendously in a position in tool sales after finding your channel. I've been hooked ever since. I'm so glad we could help. We love being able to help people. Hey, there's the princess.
Hey.
How's it going?
Good.
Paul St. Marie says, that which makes Princess Bear happy is very useful indeed.
Because we were showing them what Dad made for you.
Your dragon. We showed them the dragon. Yes. There's an articulating octopus she wants me to print. We've been gone.
Yeah. That means nothing to her. She's like, come on.
Like no soul service kind of gone.
Yeah. Super gone. Super not happy wife.
Yeah.
With the no cell service.
That's the good thing. Keeps the kids off their cell phones.
I understand, but I have insomnia, and so I listen to...
Maybe you should download your stuff.
YouTube when I can't sleep. That is one
thing.
Do we have beads?
I don't think so.
Do we have what?
Beads.
She asked for bait.
When people are live streaming, it's a good time to ask if we have beads. I don't know. We might in our craft stuff, but I don't know where it is right this second. I can help you look in just a little bit.
Tadisvir says, how much do YouTube pay you if YouTube could pay you? I'm in YouTube watching videos because of Dena Tools. How much do they pay us? I'm trying to remember what our rate is. It changes every month. I think it's like
Yeah.
8.54 per thousand.
It does change.
I could be wrong. It depends on the video. Different videos, depending on the topic, it changes for those. Frag Guy says, I do prefer beer with some foods, especially pizza. Good with other foods, just my opinion. You know what? I hate beer with food. It never... I know people love it. They love it. I don't like beer with food. What? Like, you like beer at all, so... Yeah, that's what I thought.
Not really. Well, when it's like incredibly hot, if there's nothing else, probably I'll drink beer.
Fred says, boy, the news about shortages isn't good nationwide. There's a semi-driver shortage, so meat, higher prices, lumber still. I'm also guessing produce as well. Everything is hard to come by.
I heard that chicken prices were up and beef was down.
Yeah.
Which I can't completely understand.
Ronald says, let's try out that 3D printer concrete so we can print a shed. I
agree.
love to have something like that.
Let's do that.
Boy, if they want to send me one of those to demo, I will go to town with that thing.
I don't know who I need to talk to, but I'm willing to make a phone call or take a phone call or something.
Gary says, good evening, Bears and everyone. Good to see you're back. Miss you Sunday night talk show. We're so glad to be back and be broadcasting at full strength, apparently.
Yes, where people can hear us and see us at the same time.
Fred says, Bear, when will you be back in Vegas? When the temperatures are where humans can live there again.
Yep.
Probably November-ish. Yeah, we got to be back for SEMA, and that's the first week in November. So definitely before then.
Gosh. I just had a mom moment there. I've been working on the scheduling and planning for the year of homeschooling, and I didn't put them together with the other things that we have to do. Yes, I'm going to have to go do that. Sorry. We're live and very professional, as you can see.
We are professionals. Do not try this at home.
Yep. And Crystal, thank you. She said there's a problem with sick chickens. That explains it. Which is why the chickens are more expensive, because they would have had to cull the sick chickens.
They have the Wuhan?
I don't know what they had. I don't know.
Let's see here. Jordan says, how much is the Flex lifetime warranty worth to a casual DIY homeowner? I haven't bought into a battery platform yet, and the lifetime warranty is so tempting. It is tempting, but the thing is, there's only so many tools that are out right now in the line. So unless you're planning on buying like all those tools and really investing in it, you're only going to get, 4, maybe 5 tools that have a lifetime warranty. And I'll be honest, as well as they're made, I could say the same thing about, the higher end, DeWalt and the Milwaukees and the Bosch and the Makitas. You're unlikely to need for a casual owner, you're unlikely to need that warranty. So I don't think it'll be worth a whole lot, to be honest. I think that warranty is really valuable for the person who's going to use this thing and beat on it. He's like, I want a tool that I can throw everything at, and I know that if something happens to it, it's going to get replaced.
Ragin' Cajun, 1984, with a $5 super chat. Thank you so much. He says, when you first started, did YouTube charge you to post your videos? Because I'm going to be testing it out with my own videos. No, they do not. Anyone can post videos, and we encourage anyone and everyone. Post your videos. Sorry.
Yeah.
Post your videos. Like, if you're good at making a cake or knitting a sweater or building a log cabin or cleaning a toilet, anything you're good at. If you're good at something, and we all have a talent, I believe that, post a video.
Yeah.
And the other thing is record yourself. Record. Just because you record yourself and you look like a total goofball whatever, you don't have to post it. And go look at some of our early videos. We were not always this
so
amazing.
Polished. Yeah.
Right. No, but seriously, it does not cost anything to post videos. Post away, and know that it's going to be goofy in the beginning, probably. You're probably not going to be 100% polished, and that's okay.
Philly Fixed. Hey, Philly. Comments. Don't forget, Big Sky tool for Metabo HPT deals. Recon miter saws were 25% off this weekend, but you have to pay freight shipping. You probably still come out ahead versus new. He's talking about reconditioned. Big Sky Tools, which oddly enough, I believe is out of Georgia and not Montana. They've got a contract with Metabo HPT to sell their reconditioned tools. So most of the Metabo reconditioned stuff comes out through them. They're a great source, and they seem to be a pretty good company that stands behind their deals.
Hey, Brad. Brad's wood turning says,
Brad!
well, what in the dang tarnation's going on here?
Hey, Brad, I saw you sent me that link. I haven't had a chance to look at it. If you don't know, we've been up in the Bitterroot Mountains for the past 3 days and have not had much cell service. And honestly, we've been doing family time, so I haven't even been looking at my phone. So, sorry, Brad sent me some stuff to look at, some other comments about things, and I've been...
We're not ignoring you. We just had family time.
So let's see here. And Charlton asks, any company producing a battery operated table saw? Milwaukee's got one. DeWalt's got one. Who else has got one? Metabo. Pretty sure Metabo has a 36 volt one, if I'm not mistaken. I could be mistaken about that, because I remember seeing the battery adapter kind of thing. I'm pretty sure they've got one. But there are people doing battery powered table saws.
Dirk Jason Hall, $5 super chat. Thank you so much. Says, do you think the impact and hammer drill that comes in the 4 tool flex combo are good enough, or should I get the impact hammer drill turbo combo? Before he answers, my question would be, good enough for what? What are you doing?
Yeah, that's the real question is, what are you planning? I mean, is it the impact and the hammer drill that comes in the 4 tool flex are good enough, or should I get the impact hammer drill turbo combo? I don't know what the impact hammer drill turbo combo is.
4 tool flex combo.
Like, I get there's the 4. I haven't looked at the combo packages they put together. I know the individual tools. Like, the impact is really great, and if you need a hammer drill is fantastic, but it's, I don't know what the combo packages are.
And what are you going to do with it?
Yeah.
Repair your PC. I know that you posted this a second time. It says, is it possible to turn on closed caption helpful when watching in an audio restricted environment? I totally understand what you're saying. I believe that's an option on your end.
No, it's not. Not for live streams. You can't turn on closed captioning for live streams because the content is being generated in real time. And so we can't make, because we don't know what we're going to say ahead of time. And I'd be having somebody, if we hired a stenograph person, they could type it.
Stenographer.
What's wrong with what I said?
It sounds cooler when I say it, obviously.
And then the other option is that YouTube does voice recognition to create closed captions, and it takes time for them to generate that, and they can't generate it in real time. So they can't do that for live streams.
I'm sorry.
The Fred says Home Depot have some special buy toolboxes on sale for the 4th of July sale. Are you asking or telling? Speaking of which, I did get a notification from somebody from Insider that Lowe's will be doing a pro sale in a week or two, and that there will be flex tools on sale. That they showed me stuff that was showing, flex tools for this pro sale that go on the floor. So if you're planning to buy a flex, wait for that sale. I think it's going to be like the 14th.
Brad said he'd be happy to type our captions with the smiley winky face, which makes me concerned that we might get demonetized immediately.
I'm sorry. Den of Tools comes across through the caption thing bad enough as it is.
It's like dentist of tools.
No, it's genitals.
Oh, yep. Nope. That's not us. I hadn't seen that.
Craig Monster says shop towels or paper towels.
Depends on what you're picking up.
We use paper towels. I don't use shop towels because I don't want to have to clean shop towels, and I don't like throwing away that kind of fabric and stuff. Just feels wasteful. And not that paper towels aren't wasteful. I think they're just less wasteful. And we don't have that big kind of messes to deal with. So again, every tool has its own job. The Craigie Monster says, yeah, Bear, you have a beautiful voice.
That's right. I'm telling you.
Thank you. Steven says, I've been told I could be a great voice actor. That's cool. Maybe you should do that, man. I'll tell you what.
Steven, yes, I agree with that. Sorry. I wasn't sure which Steven when you read that. Yes, I absolutely think that Steven would be an excellent voice actor. I think you should look into it. For real.
There's a lot of audio production companies who are doing audio books, and they're always looking for new talent. especially if you can do voices. I do voices with the kids for fun, but I can't consistently do the same voice repeatedly. That's in a repeatable kind of format, and you need to be able to do that for that kind of work. All right, I got to catch up because you've made me get way behind here.
Always blaming the wife.
Paul St. Marie says routers are really hard to get to track a straight line unless you're using a router table with a fence. They keep pulling away if you try to use them. If you try using a miter gauge, what if you've got it on a track? Gary says hit the like button. Thank you, Gary. Rage Occasion says I'll be testing the water and doing a few videos in the coming weeks. Awesome, can't wait to see it. Ronald Smith says watch the Red Green Show for table saw safety. I've seen that one before. It's pretty hilarious. Rogue Trader says all the new tool innovations are great, cordless modular storage, etc. But they're skill killers. I would never have had an apprenticeship without needing to do all that dog work.
Dirk did some clarifying. It says at the Den of Tools, the 4-tool combo doesn't have the turbo mode. He also said, he said something before that. Den of Tools, the 4-tool combo doesn't have the turbo mode on the impact and hammer drill. And then he said, just trying to see if the turbo mode was a significant difference.
So the impact does not have a turbo mode. It's got multiple settings, but there's no turbo mode. So as far as I understand it, is they basically have 2 tools on each one. They have one that's just a basic brushless tool. And then they have like the smart version that has like the turbo mode or the other settings in both cases. There is a significant difference. The question is, does the work you're doing need that? That's what I can't answer for you.
Jason Blair with a $5 super chat. No reason, just grateful for a lot these days. Happy Sunday. Thank you so much.
Thank you. We're feeling pretty blessed and grateful as well. So thank you so much, and that just solidifies it.
Thank you.
It's been a great week. Chaos says Makita Circ Saw 36 volt for 250, 2 plus 2 batteries. Seems like a great deal, but is it overkill for the homeowner? Would you stick with the 18 volt? It is overkill. It's a fantastic saw. Would you stick with the 18 volt? I probably would. Unless it's the 36 volt that takes 2 batteries, right? So you put the 2 batteries together, and that's how you're getting the 36 volt. It's not the new 40 volt line. And the benefit of that is you're getting 40 volt or 36 volt, same thing, usefulness out of it, but you're still sticking with the power tool line that runs the rest of your tools. And if you're in the Makita line, I would definitely get it. I don't know if I would buy into the Makita line just for that for the average homeowner. I probably wouldn't. I would want to because I geek out about tools, but I don't think it's necessary at all. Gramia says, how's it going with you and your family? It is going really well. We had a great weekend. We're all now back up here in Montana. We got lots of stuff going on.
You forgot to tell them about my interesting life choices with my key fob.
She's not to be trusted with key fobs anymore after flushing hers down the toilet.
And we have a spare because
we don't. We don't have a spare because you lost that too.
I was getting to that.
No.
You're stepping on
I'll step all over it.
So don't flush your key fob down the toilet and then don't not know where your spare is.
We'd driven down to Yellowstone for the day just for some fun.
Not in my car.
Coming back, we hit up a local lake, one of the Alpine lakes. Drove us up there, went swimming. It was cold, but it was beautiful. Just a beautiful, great day. Stop at a gas station. She goes in and manages somehow to flush the key fob for her Jeep Renegade down the toilet.
Yeah.
Doesn't know what she did with her other one, so we just had to order a new one. I think it's like $5,000. We could just buy a new car. It would be cheaper.
I've been meaning to tell you, you actually have to go down and bring lunch to the folks. No,
Yes.
I'm just kidding. Yeah, don't do that. But in general, we are having a great life other than me flushing key fobs down the toilet.
And Silent believes that you're a week early with the headgear. Oh, no. It's freedom every week here in Montana.
It is.
And done by the fireworks. It was.
Hi.
It was, hi. Now
Excuse me. Am I in your way? She's like, I deserve just as much screen time.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
You're a good girl. I know.
Okay.
I know.
The Major says, I can supply you with plenty of screws to attach streamers and other decorations to vehicles. Thank you. I think we'll pass. Andrew says, a YouTuber by the name of Carl Morosky has a YouTube monopoly on work clothes boots reviews. Maybe you can impact that audience. I'll have to see. The Rogue Trader says, I'm retrofitting a beautiful grand 150-year-old cast iron and slate fireplace into an English, is that Victorian house at the moment?
I saw
Love
that.
restoring old
That
houses
looks
over
so
here.
cool.
I do like Victorian style houses.
I'm a super dork, so if you could send me a picture, I would love that. Just because
and I love
like
fireplaces, so. The example says, I have a friend whose wife does all the finances well. Depends on whoever is better at that sort of thing. It really is. And it's also a division of labor kind of stuff, you know. Ed C says, so wait, you're not telling us what you bought for that with the money?
We mentioned sort of.
Redhead Premium Target in size 12. You can Google that. I'm sure it'll come up appropriately. But we're using certain words so as not to offend our overlords. Throttle Power says, saying hi, really enjoying the show tonight. Hey, man, how you doing? JR Bit wants to know that their dad is a pony.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Rage Occasion says, come on, folks, hit that like button. Thank you so much. What are we at here? We've got, oops, almost closed everything there. We've got, I don't know, it doesn't say 271 concurrent viewers. It doesn't say how many likes. Oh, I think
What are you doing?
Did I just close everything?
Maybe.
Who knows?
Well,
Oh, there it's coming back. I minimized everything. Boy,
Did you hear that? He's minimizing me.
The someone says, any idea when the building material prices will return to reasonable levels? Personally, I doubt they ever will. I don't know if they'll ever return to the levels they were at before, but I do believe that they are coming back down. As the housing demand slows, and it has been slowing, we will definitely see those prices decrease. Also, as supply increases, we'll see those prices decrease. And someone says, what type is right type of fire extinguisher for failed battery jumpstart? Metal, fire, electric fire? You know, honestly, I don't know. It depends on the type of battery, first of all. At least I believe so. I believe that, honestly, for lithium, the right is water. I think you want loads and loads of water. I could be wrong. I had a fireman tell me that. And Asylum also says, Mrs. Bear had insomnia. I have insomnia, and I found that completely cutting caffeine out of my diet early entirely has helped me massively.
I saw that. Yeah, me and caffeine.
Well, the other thing is she also gets migraines, and the caffeine helps with that.
Yeah. So it's a vicious cycle.
Steven says, has Elle been going on a growth spurt? Yes, she has.
Yes.
She's looking tall and old, and she's all ready to be a teenager, and I'm not okay with this.
I'm not okay. No one asked. I do not consent.
She's been stealing all your clothes.
Yep.
She's been stealing my clothes. Duncan stole my shirt today.
Yep. Basically, nothing of ours belongs to us anymore.
Trent says, I finally received my credit from Makita, 17 tools, 5 amp hour batteries. Obviously, I'm not the least bit happy. Cash would have been infinitely better. Donating to Habitat for Humanity. That's awesome. Good for you. Paul says, too bad Firebrand went out of business. Best selection of German beer and food that you could imagine. Oh, German food. I was so disappointed. There are no German restaurants around here. Everyone up here, I thought for sure when I first started coming up to Montana, I'm like, oh, I bet there's a bunch of German. No, it's all Scandinavian folk around here and some Dutch.
Lots of Scandinavians. Yeah.
Weird. Frank says, I love beer, but I like water when I eat. Me too. And Linda says, Mrs. Bear, I love the pinwheels.
Thank you.
Fred says, can you believe Canada still has their border closed?
Yep.
Yeah, in fact, we had actually planned originally to do a trip up to
Canada.
Calgary. but not going to happen. You're not getting our tourist dollars now, Canada. What do you think of that? All 5 of them.
I was literally thinking, you mean all 4 of them? Yeah. It would have been like the quickest trip. They're like, weren't you just here? Yep, we breathed your air. Now we're leaving.
Michael says, do a video on how to get a job with organized crime.
Yes, he actually sent a funny email about that.
I'm like, okay.
Yep.
Do you know how many of Sears Kmart's are left? It's not a lot. I don't know if it's not quite down to the single digits. I'm going to guess, I'm going to look it up right now, but I think it's like 30. Kmart, I think, is gone.
And then Brad arrived. Futon02 says, good night, not feeling well. Good to see you back on. I know you're probably gone. Have a good night.
As of May, there were 37 stores left, but many of them were set to be closed. How many Sears will be left by the end of 2021? I don't know. And they want to charge me for that article.
Yep.
Nope,
not happening.
So, yeah, it's getting down there, folks. And I just closed her. There we go.
You were down to Trent's comment, purple.
You're wrong. Joe Biden has no talent.
I don't.
Did I say he did?
I don't think that he did.
Futon says, good night. Not feeling well. Good to see you back on. Oh, sorry about that.
Yeah. Hope you're feeling better. Hope you're resting.
And Fred says, I swear there is no way in bunch of stuff. I would camp in a tent in bear country without a broomstick. Yeah. Honestly, I'm not even all for camping in a tent. But cabin's nice. That's what we had a cabin. There were people who had RVs, and there were some people in tents. And we were definitely in black and brown bear country. Yep. No, not a chance.
Yep.
Let's see here. Old guy says, you already do voiceover with Red the Bear. My intro to your channel was the Red Bear, and when I saw your live, your voice seemed odd coming from you. I get that a lot, to be honest. Where'd my chat just jumped on me? Where'd it go? There we go. So Steven says, and that caption bombshell, it's time to move on.
Yeah.
Neil says, shop towels can be dangerous if not disposed of properly. Oh, yeah, that's a big flammable hazard there. Yeah. Steven says, I think it would be cool to have my voice on a cartoon. Adam says, a lot of videos about lumber prices coming down. I live in upstate New York and have not seen lower prices yet. What do you think? It's lumber futures have dropped. So that's what contracts are written on, are based on futures. So basically, they're going to sell through the stock they have at the price they paid for it. Then once they sell through that stock, then the next, often referred to, depending on the different company, as a bunk. They get in a bunk of lumber, and that it's pricing based on that. So when they get the next one in, they unpackage that. Then the pricing may get reflected on that bunk or maybe the next one. So it's prices shoot up, they trickle down. They never come down half as fast as they went up.
Christian Allen, thank you so much for the $2 super chat. He says, shut up, Moto. That's right.
Paul Seymour says, I think it means the blue shop paper towels. I like white balls. The X60s and X80s are great. They don't shed. They don't leave lint. They don't fall apart. That may be true. I mean, yes, there definitely is a lint issue when you're dealing with regular paper towels. And if you're doing the kind of work where that's an issue, I don't mind a little bit of that for the ease and efficiency of dealing with regular paper towels. I've not gotten to the point where I'm like, paper towels are a problem. I need to upgrade to shop towels. So, Larry Broom says, is the Prusa printer worth the money over the cheaper printer, $750 versus $2? I don't feel that it is. I know it's an excellent printer out there. I got to tell you, this Viper that I used, oh my gosh. This thing was just...
And the what do you call that it prints on?
The bed?
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, it is. And Prusa has all that stuff. And they make fantastic stuff, but the price on them, I think they're great. I don't think it justifies, I don't think you can justify the more than double price for the same size thing from Prusa. They're great printers. I'm not trying to take anything away from them. I just don't think they're worth that premium. There definitely was a time when they were. And Sam says, are battery-powered rivet guns a thing yet? I'm pretty sure I've seen them from Milwaukee. I don't use a lot of rivet guns, so the ones I have are usually either hand ones or the ones that you attach to a drill bit. And they do have those. You can you can chuck up or in a rivet or in an electric drill. Fred says, Bear, are most microwaves standard and fit in the opening of the kitchen? I think they are, because they're standard to fit the same width as the stove. There are different ones, but I think
there's
the
different
vast majority
sizes. I think most of them are a standard size,
Yes.
but I would say.
But there's specialty ones you can
Yeah.
get. Seth Wees says, I want to get the Ryobi tools and are the Ryobi deals tools brushless or non-brushless? They have both. Do I have to get into the One Plus to get HP to get brushless from Ryobi? You didn't used to, but I've noticed that a lot of the brushless stuff that they've had seems to be going away. So you might have to, but there are some great deals out there for the HP, and I would definitely recommend them if that's the route you're looking to go. Let me see here. Well, it jumped on me again. Loves to do that. Paul says, lithium metal explodes on contact with water. Rechargeable lithium batteries, on the other hand, have very little lithium, and it's not pure metallic lithium. Rage Occasion says, you might be able to find a replacement key fob on Amazon and get it programmed at the dealership. Yeah. Yeah, we went through all that, and we had to get the car towed to the dealership to do the programming anyway. Luckily, our insurance covered it.
It was a expensive life lesson, and I told everyone for like a week. I'm like, you think you're having a bad day?
Have you found your other key fob yet?
No.
We're pretty sure it's in the house somewhere.
Yeah, pretty sure.
I'm sure archaeologists, hundreds of years from now, will find it. Wonder what it is. Ronald says, thank God for thrift stores. Thrift stores up here are fantastic. Good friends of ours run, well, they don't call it a thrift store, they call it a secondhand store. They have everything. We love the thrift stores around here. Thrift stores, right?
Yes. All of this thrift stores.
All our kids, we get tons of stuff from the thrift stores.
That's why
Frank says, I
them.
kept all my clothes from the 80s so my kids wouldn't steal mine. Oh, the 80s
They
style's
will
coming
now.
back.
They will now. Hide your clothes.
Brad's Woodturn, he says, when are we going to get a tour of the Montana property? Nice. This property? It's going to be a while. Yeah. We're overflowing with tools and other stuff. So we're doing like one room at a time. We're just in the process of finishing the kids' room. Then we got to tackle the office. Then we're going to redo this room. We got so much to do.
A lot of projects.
Yeah. Charlie for Dollar says, I'm looking to pick up a 9mm hole puncher for home defense and targets. Any thoughts? I have recently, so SIG has the 365 and I got the XL one of that, and I got to tell you, cause you can get the extended capacity, as much as you want that'll fit that thing. And it is the one, it's small, but it's almost what we call carry size or service size. And it's fantastic. And it's honestly can do all kind of thing when it comes to that. I absolutely love them. I have a 320. I never use it because the 365 does everything I want. The only one I'm actually interested in right now is Rock Island just came out with a clone of the GLOCK. And I want to get my hands on that and see what it's like. I've liked all their 1911s, but I'm interested in seeing it. The Sears hometown stores are still around. They are, but they're a totally different company now. They got spun off. Totally different ownership, not related to Sears in any way, shape, or form other than the brand name that they bought from them. What's your take on going into the trades versus college, pursuing something in the STEM fields like trades right out of high school or going to college? Boy, that's a big question, and we've talked about that a lot. And here's what I got to say. I think college in many cases is a scam. And I recommend, even to my own children, that you should only go to college if there's something that you want to do that requires college. That said, as an experiment, I recently applied for a job. So I'm hesitant to say the name of the company.
I would say don't say it.
But they are an online company that produces an app that is not on X. How about that? They service the hunting industry, and they were looking for a vice president of social media, essentially. Understand that prior to this, now way back in the day, when I first got started, I did for 10 years, I was in construction, and then I moved over, and I did, for 5 years, I did wire, running low power wire. And I then worked my way into IT servers, building server rooms, building servers, manage them, and then eventually ended up running a technology firm in Silicon Valley for 17 years. I ended up as the chief operating officer, running the day-to-day stuff, doing a lot of business contracts, negotiating, dealing with just doing all the day-to-day stuff that comes to run a tech company in Silicon Valley. On top of that, I have not just for myself, but helped others, and as consulting, built social media presences for other people. Been very successful at it. Fairly successful at this one. 160,000, subscribers, over 30 million views. With my pedigree for this position, like the second I hit submit, I should have at least gotten a phone call. Somebody should have been like, think how hard it's going to find somebody with that kind of pedigree, that kind of background, that's got the years of experience, who could walk in and basically do that job day one and be, producing content, managing content, directing, anyway. But they had one requirement. They wanted somebody with a college degree. And I did not have a college degree. And they actually asked me on the application to check mark a box that says, do you have the college degree? And I said, no, I do not. And I never heard from them. And the only thing I can assume is that there was some gatekeeper in HR that went, that just basically didn't even look at the resume. Mm-hmm. I guarantee you, I would put $1,000 on the line that my resume would clean the clock of anybody they hired for that position. I was not looking to get hired because I like my independence. I like where I am now. But I was just testing them to see, That's the only thing I'm going to say that goes for getting a college degree is you will meet gatekeepers, people who don't have the skill to do the job, don't really know what the job is, but they've been put in such a position where they go, well, this person should have a college degree. And I literally know people like this. Basically, they're in HR. They had to get a college degree to get their job. So they feel that this job should have you're getting paid more than I am. So certainly you should have a college degree. Mm-hmm. And I'm not going to look at anybody who doesn't. Trump. Now, I'm not trying to get into politics, but one of the things that Trump changed during his administration was he removed from many, many positions the requirement of a college degree if the work experience was as good or better than was necessary to get the position. Because what does it matter if you have a college degree if you've been doing this job successfully at a high level for 20 years? At that point, a college degree is...
It's nothing.
It's not even negligible. It is literally nothing.
Yeah. And
of course, since Biden got in office, they changed that back. And I'm not trying to make left-right political discussion, but this is gatekeepers who stop this. So if you're looking to go down this route, I think trade schools are a fantastic way to go, and I highly recommend them for everyone. But if you think at some point you're going to go towards management, you're going to go towards a STEM field where you're going to try, even though you've got the chops, there you will run at certain places. You'll run into people who will not even look at your resume without a college degree.
Yeah. So, and my 2 cents about it is, I think that there are plenty of people who college is a good fit for whatever reason, and they should go to college. I think that there's plenty of people who go to college because that's what they're told that they need to do. And it
I
would
did.
be a better use of their time, their money, their resources to go to a trade school. And there's plenty of people that make that decision and decide, I'm going to go to a trade school. So I think it's a personal decision. I don't think there's one right answer for everyone. I think everybody has to decide that for themselves. And I wish that more counselors talked to children about trade schools. And maybe it's different, but I definitely know when I was in school, I didn't hear anything about trade schools.
I wanted to go into trade school. I wanted to go into. I'd taken in junior high. I'd started in 7th grade as it was an option you could take as a little like a mini class, printing, and the teacher that ran it really took a liking to me, and I got a lot of extra experience after school kind of stuff, doing a lot more things with it, working with actually movable type, locking up in platen presses and doing all that sort of stuff. And then when I got to high school, it was an elective, and I took it for all 4 years through high school, and up to the point where it was like free study. And the guy who ran our printing classes was actually, he only worked half a day at the school because the other half he ran his own print shop. Mm-hmm. And by my junior year, I was doing his work for his business at the school. Because he had nothing more he could teach me in the curriculum. And I wanted to go into flexography. It's a form of offset printing, and I wanted to go to trade school for that. And got browbeat by my family and friends of the family that, no, you have to go to college, blah, blah, blah. So, but of course I had to pay for college myself. Mm-hmm. And, it wasn't that expensive back then, but it didn't work out. That's how ended up in the trades doing that. I would go to the job site. I would work. I would leave to go to class. I would come back. So I was showing up in class covered in dirt and grime and insulation and stuff.
Well, and I think the other thing that people don't think about are those jobs are always going to be in demand. People mm-hmm. are always going to need their car to work. People are always going to need to build a house properly.
Yeah.
People are always going to need to fly a plane somewhere. That same thing with like the medical field. You're always going to need a nurse. People are still going to be.
And there's going to be more of these because less and less people can do stuff for themselves.
Right.
Let's be honest.
Right.
And, and the thing that people go to school for. I went to the school. I was always told, well, this is what my family said, just take something you love. So I majored in, are you ready? History of the philosophy of ancient religion.
You're using that daily with our children.
Yeah. So I did not finish school, in case you're wondering, because I realized what I was in for and what it was like, and I dropped out eventually. Yeah, it was a complete waste of time, a complete waste of money.
Yeah. But that's not to say that college isn't the right choice for certain people. So I'm not totally against college, but I think it's a valid option.
If you're going to be a rocket scientist, go to college.
Please go to college.
You want to be a lawyer? Go to college. If you want to be a doctor, go to college. Those are paths where you have to get this high level of very, intense training. Yes. I totally get it. But some of the stuff that people go to college for is just utterly ridiculous and completely worthless. And they end up working at Starbucks and demanding that they should get higher wages because they have a college degree. Well, I didn't tell you to take underwater basket weaving, and that was your fault. Anyway, enough. We've gone off on this one for too long.
Yes, we have.
It's definitely something you can tell that we both feel strongly about.
Yeah.
Steven says, are you still looking at a long road trip you were talking about last year? We are looking at a smaller version of that, but it's dependent. There was supposed to be a family thing that popped up in northern Indiana, and we were trying to talk about how we could do that and rotate Michigan in with it since we're going to be up there anyway. But now we're not even sure that's going to happen. because they moved the start of school from the end of August to the beginning of August, and the older one has to be back for that. Christopher says, what's your take on going... Oh, that's the one we just talked about. Traveler X says, Chip will tell you you're safe camping in bear country, but he will do it from... Yeah, he'll probably tell me to bring a safety whistle.
We're so behind. I'm not talking anymore.
Bart says, I had 2 friends sleep in hammocks at Yellowstone. They woke up to grizzlies wandering around and finished sleeping in the car. Yeah, they're all over, man.
See, I wouldn't have even slept in the car. It'd be like, nope, we're driving back. We're driving
Seth
somewhere.
says, thoughts on tool storage for a professional shop. Just paid off a Snap-on loan. Not looking forward to another, but I need bigger. I'm thinking U.S. General, Husky, Icon, wanting sturdy. Icon is incredibly sturdy. And if you have really good credit, what I would recommend is this. Get the Harbor Freight credit card and buy it when they do one of their 20% off sales. And this is why. Because this is only do this if you have the money to buy it. Because you'll get that 20% off, plus you can stack the 10% off for 30% off on that purchase. So 30% off, they've already lowered the price on these things. So 30% off of them is fantastic. And they are at the same they're batting in the same league. Somebody could say, well, Snap-on's better, whatever. I'm not going to get into that. But it's definitely in the same league as the Snap-on stuff. It's fantastic. And then pay it off within 30 days. And you don't have to worry about any interest or anything like that. And then don't use the credit card again. If, however, you don't, I got to tell you, it's hard to answer this because of the secret that we're talking about. Should I just tell them?
I still don't know what he's talking about.
We rented shop space in town.
Oh, yes. Yes, I did know that.
So we have a shop. I got tired of waiting for lumber prices. So we rented space in has to be 100-plus-year-old building. The back half of back third of a 100-year-old building in scenic downtown Las Vegas. No, Livingston. It's a really cool space. Yeah. It's going to need a lot of work. But it's trying to find space here is next to impossible. We were just lucky to find space, period. Yeah. Much less affordable, much less not going to mind us running power tools all day long. So anyway, I'm looking at expanding my shop storage there. And I'm definitely looking at, if I'm going to buy something, it's going to be U.S. General. The U.S. General, I know people, the local mechanic shop down the way, most of the guys there have U.S. General. Because you know what? Up here, they're not worried about the pretense of like, well, you don't have Snap-on, so you must be. They don't care around here. They use what works. And so they all have U.S. General because, you know, they're all on a budget too. And they got to pay for the ridiculous housing prices and stuff we got around here now. Yep. Anyway. Husky is decent for, like the Husky's decent. Icon's better. U.S. General, you will not have a problem with. It'll last. Let's see here. Steven says prices equal up like a rocket, down like a big parachute. Yeah, with updrafts. And Simon says, since you bears got COVID, are you bears exempt from getting the shot? No, I had to get the shot because of some of the stuff that I cover where I go into some of the expos and stuff. They're requiring it for press. And she's talking about whether she's going to get it, but there's no exact understanding of how long that makes you immune to COVID for. Gary says, yes, Milwaukee makes M12 and M18 rivet guns. There you go. And Thomas says, SK hasn't had any steals and deals in a while. What's up with that? They just had one. We just did a video on it. In fact, I did a special video on it, and that's where I got these from. They were less than half price. They were like a third the normal price. I got 4 ratchets for $150. Oh my gosh. That's a pretty good price. Don't hit me with that. They
double as a safe defense. That's not even a thing. Safe defense. That's not. Yeah, you know what I mean.
William Brody says, hey, Big Bear and Mrs. Bear from Minnesota.
Hey.
Ronald says, I think it's time to get the window unit put into a window so Mrs. Barrett doesn't overheat.
Yeah, I think Mrs. DeBear might be going through the change.
We have an AC unit here it's turned off because it's so loud.
Yeah.
So we turn it off for the live stream. Actually, it is kind of muggy in here. Are you on multiple platforms during the live stream? No, we're just here right now. I was thinking about streaming over on Facebook. I don't know.
We've heard a lot. It's just it's a challenge.
Yeah.
It's an extra step.
Andrew says, if you get that job, I would love to be a brand ambassador for them. I know the company you're talking about. I think it's a great company, and I'm not going to get, even if they offer me the job, unless they're offering me like founder stock, I'm not going to take the job because, and maybe that's the other thing. Maybe I'm overqualified. Maybe they looked at it and they're like, there's no way this dude's going to want a piece of the company or something, which is true. I would, because I've got I've got a resume that would justify it. The Fred says, Mrs. DeMare, I bet you're happy. So happy you homeschool. Can't believe that garbage they're teaching our children. I'm scared for my granddaughter. I am furious about some of the stuff that is going on in some of these schools. It's absolutely ridiculous. Don't want to get into it.
Yeah.
But we passed a sale at the big garage sale, and I saw a sign that she didn't see, and I did a 180, and she's like, what's going on? I'm like, you'll see when we get there. And then she saw the sign, and she went bonkers. And it said...
Yeah. It said homeschool supplies or homeschool books or something like that. And that I got some really amazing books, really classic books that are becoming more and more expensive for like 10 cents each. So I was super happy.
Michael says, I run into that all the time. Suspect age discrimination is happening as well. I'm sure it is. But, when you're looking for a VP, yeah, it's a pretty young company, to be honest. And when people say it's a young company, it means it's young people running the company. Mm-hmm. And it is young people running the company. And they're going to be afraid of somebody like me because they're either going to go, well, he's going to be set in his ways or something. That's what happens when you have experience. You're set in your ways because you already learned your lessons. All right. Mike says, indeed, the like are not our friends. They are filters to exclude candidates. More than once I've gotten in the car and knocked on a door, bypassing the ads. So, yeah. That's why I always recommend to people network. Tell all your friends, have them tell their brother, sister, cousins, nieces, dog's nephew. That's the best way to get a job.
It really is. The best way to get anything. Get a house, get a job,
network.
Get your foot in the door.
Ask around. Let people know you're looking. That's how we found the shop space. I went and told all our friends that we're looking. And they're like, and somebody's like, hey, I know these people and they've got some space in back and they have a renter back there and they're not happy with them.
Having free space.
Yeah. Special Moose. So putting my resignation in at work, going back to being self-employed, can't take the entrepreneur mindset out of the entrepreneur. Keep up being independent. Boy, I can tell you this. I could not work for a large company. The company I was talking about is a startup. So I'm very much the startup mentality. I'm an entrepreneur. I always have been an entrepreneur. But when I was young in school, looking at you couldn't go to college for being an entrepreneur. There was nothing like that. They didn't know what that was. And honestly, in Iowa, entrepreneurs were kind of looked at like snake oil salesmen. You should get a real job with a company that somebody else started. Yeah, that makes sense. Not hypocritical at all. But yeah, we are, and my kids, there's no one in my family who is like, you know what? I want to go work for a big company and have a cubicle and get a steady paycheck. They're all either like, I want to start my own business or I want to join the military or I want to do both.
Right.
So, like join the military or start business now, then join the military, then come out and start my own business. That's all the way they think. And I'm more than happy to support that.
Top of the hour, super behind.
Got to catch up. Michael says, hey, from Texas. Fred says more box checkers are gone. Their college degrees in underwater basket weaving gets them nothing. And Solomon says, my high school was part of a VOTEC program. They offered auto repair, building, trades, electronics, and a few other things. I went to the electronics. Well, Duncan, that's the school we got him into. He's going into a school that has a built-in VOTEC program in automotive, what do you call it? Auto repair. Dirk says, I've been painting for 25 years and I just now own my own business about 3 years now. Had to save to get my LLC. Good for you, sir. That's awesome. Ronald says Ronald Dangerfield did a movie called Back to School. He went to get a college degree for a business, and he knew more than the teacher. Yeah, it's often like that. The Steven says, I'm still very sour at the education I got at college. It didn't prep me much for actual work environment, just full of theory and hand calculations. Yeah. Frank says, defund big education. I'm a huge proponent of, school vouchers. I think school vouchers, I hate public employee unions. I'm sorry if you're part of one. It used to be illegal, unconstitutional in the United States. They changed, I think it was Kennedy's who changed that. And it's been completely corrupted into a political tool. And I think, honestly, that we need more independence and we need a more entrepreneurial mindset when it comes to education, thus to have better teachers rather than people who are just looking to get tenure and coast. And I'm not saying that's all of them, but there's enough that it ruins the basket for everyone else. Matt says, I was doing a project for the wife today and cutting a lot of 1x3s. The only cordless I have. All I have is 5.5 inch. Do you companies generally not make blades that small with more teeth? I don't know. I don't use that size, so it's not something I've looked at. Sorry, I don't have an answer for you. Fred says, that's why I went into the Air Force. I still got 2 years of college. There you go. Michael says, another stupid thing here is almost needless requirement for a clearance. Norfolk is a Navy town and most anything needs a security check. They are massively backlogged. I've heard that. I've got friends in the service and stuff. Apparently it takes forever to get anything done. Wood and Metal Garage says college is overrated. I think so as well. Frank says, if you want to be a brewer, read your book. I do have a book on how to brew. Steven says, I struggled hard in some classes and I still graduated when a lot of people quit. I still don't have an engineering job because I'm rubbish at the interview.
That's hard.
It's a hard one. Sucks. And don't feel bad because a lot of engineers are not good at the interview.
And they're excellent engineers.
Yep.
But yeah.
Hey, send an email over to Jim over at Philly Fix. I don't know if he's still here. He's an engineer. Maybe he can give you some tips.
Yeah.
Michael says, I went to technical school and owned my own business 1 year later and successful for over 10 years. That's awesome.
Super awesome.
That's the way to do it, man. As far as I wouldn't ever work for somebody else again. Luke says, Den of Tools, I sense a strong Micro Works vibe coming from you. Chuck Norris approves. I got to tell you, we're big fans of Micro.
Yep.
And, former Eagle Scout, we had Cubs who were in Cub Scouts. Not happy with the way Scouts has gone recently, but all of that mentality, that get it done kind of mentality. And that is definitely that's the vibe that we use for our family. And I could do a whole show just on this, and maybe I should, but yeah, I'm a huge supporter of this cause and honestly thought about doing more if we could. We're actually looking into it. Anyway.
David responded about the higher tooth count. He says Diablo makes higher tooth count 5.5 inch.
There you go.
So, but you didn't direct it to the person who asked the question. That's why I'm reading it out.
Okay.
Thank you.
Andrew says, if you need a place to park the RV in North Indiana, I got a place. We actually have a family home on one of the lakes in North Indiana. We don't get back there much, but it's when we do. I can't wait to get back. I want to take the kids. They haven't been there. Duncan still remembers it. Some of the other kids have never been there. Tell them about Tecton. Tell who about Tecton. We don't know about Tecton. Tecton's fabulous. Terry says, got tired of it, sold my house, traveled in a fifth wheel for 2.5 years, learned how to pull low voltage cable. That's awesome. Yep. We lived in an RV for about 6 months. But it was in Vegas, and we just didn't have.
Summer.
We needed wasn't that old? It was like a 2007 RV, right? Mm-hmm. It was a Class A, but we only had 30 amp service, and you really need 50 amp service down there so you can run both air conditioners at the same time. Mm-hmm. So it's not the kind of place you can live in over the summer. Not at that level. Not with a whole family and a Labrador. Any idea when the Texas-made USA Craftsman is coming to stores? No clue. We're all waiting along with you. Steven says, that's why I wanted Student debt wiped clean. I have a lot of debt and went through so much to get the degree, but now I don't have a job to show for it. Man, I am sorry. I'm really sorry about that. Padawan Bob says, did you get a different internet provider? We did. We switched from we canned Wisp West, and now we're with Spectrum. Fred, in fact, we got to turn in that modem for Wisp before the end of the month.
Yes. Tomorrow.
Fred says, in Bear Country, people screw up. They leave food out. They don't hang their food. Don't leave your trash out. Yeah, you got to understand what is food. Food isn't like leaving out a pizza or something ready to eat. It's anything that kind of smells like food. And a lot of things, it can smell like food. Steven says, all because I didn't have the work experience through my college. My college only had one internship go, and that only covered 120 hours. That ain't squat. No, it really isn't. Very little prepare me for the actual work thing. That sucks, dude. I'm really sorry about that. To go through all that work and not be able to get the job that you need.
Yeah.
You know what? Maybe you should call Tecton. I could put a word in over there. I'm sure they're looking for engineers. Fred says, I love my General Tools. I break it. I take it back. Yep. Metal and Wood Metal Garage says, what do you think of buying some landscape timbers from a local big box, $4.77, and mill some 2x4s out of them? If you got the equipment to do it, man. I mean, for your own personal use, or you're looking to sell them. I wish we had a mill set up here. I want to get one of those mills. Anyway, have you been looking at boats recently? Dude, I'm always looking at boats.
Stop encouraging him.
I was looking at pontoon boats the other day, and then I found out there's somebody who makes, it's like a deck boat, but it's a jet boat, so we could use it on the river too.
I'm not listening.
Jim says, all my videos are how not to videos, I'm pretty sure. Hey, that's learning how not to do something is almost as important as learning how to get it done right. Fred says, Mr. and Mrs. Bear, can you believe that teachers golfing are going off on children they were teaching? Remember the subject we were taught? U.S. history, U.S. government, math, science, shops, arts, etc. Yeah, I remember all of that. Yeah. Michael says, yeah, more than once I've had to teach EE about things like antenna patterns and the limits of a random vibration controller. Engineers are not gods. Don't tell them that. They're pretty sure that they are. Michael says, I want to enter the M18 line. I want the 1/4 impact wrench. Don't need the usual drill driver combo. What's a good way to get battery charger and tool discount? You just got to pay attention to the deals and watch them, because there's really no pattern to when they go on sale, but they do have these blowout sales. There's also a lot where you buy the tool, you get the battery for free. They do these little add-ins, and maybe you can buy the charger then when it's on sale. Homer Simpson says, I can't believe Stanley Black & Decker is buying MTD, the two biggest dealers of the junk in the industry. Well, they already own 20% of them. They're just finishing the deed at this point. And Salem says, good night, everyone. I have to work in the morning. Hope you all have a lovely week. Thank you, sir. Frank says, I applied for a job at Tecton. They never responded back. Are you serious? Really? Llama Llama's in the house. Have you heard of a man named Gus Hodel? One time owned Lewiston Brewery in Montana in the early 20th century. He was a big part of the beer industry in that area.
I want to say he died in the early 60s, but I do know who you're talking about.
She does. I don't. Donna Ross says, I went to the same college, but different degree than Steve. Of course, yeah, I file insurance claims, have a teaching degree. Did you guys meet at college? Do you know?
I think so.
And Fred says, see, you got something out of college. Fred says, through high school, the Air Force, and working for a federal government, I fought every day with problems. It was a battle. I paid for it dearly, and with having to have bypass in 2018. Oof. And Donna Ross says, yep. All right. Anyway, it is 8:13. We're past our due date here. We got to go before turning into pumpkins. So glad we got through it tonight with no real big problems. But we're going to wrap it up. Thank you again to everyone who donated with the Super Chats. You're all fantastic. Thank you also to our supporters, our members of the Bear family there. Thank you so much for your continued support. Thanks again. And also, don't remember, pick a mod on your way out and go check out their channel. Give them a like.
And if you're a mod, put your
if you're a mod, put your link in there, okay? Because it's some of the smaller channels. It can be kind of hard to find with YouTube. You know how they are. Anyway, that's all we got time for today. You all take care. God bless. And as always, shine on.